Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Welcome to another mixed bag. The mixed bag is me going through things that are happening in the news, rackets, strings, whatever. Dominic Thiem is out of Indian Wells and Miami Masters. He hasn't played a match since 2021 in the Mallorca Championships. I'm a bit surprised to see this. I thought he was coming back now for these two quite major tournaments. But he's decided to sit it out and kind of groove his game for the clay court season. I know that's his bread and butter. That's where he feels, most at home, but still felt like it was a bit of a surprising decision. He said that he's doing fine, that he's ready to play. As you might know, he had a wrist injury that he sustained at the Mallorca Championships 2021. And then he was about to come back, but then he had some kind of finger issue after that. So that's why he now postponed his comeback a bit more, but he said he's fine. We'll see when he returns for the clay court season. That's not yet confirmed. Another player missing the two Masters series in the US, Barty. She said that she's not fully recovered from the Australian Open. That got some comments on social media, which everything does, but still it's a bit curious that she has not recovered, after. It wasn't like the most grueling tournament for her, looking at the results and the matches she played, but who knows? We don't know what's going on with her body, if she was injured then or got injured after the tournament, stuff like that, but still a bit surprising to see her not play these two. Another player that is not coming back for a while is a certain Roger. He has said that he will be back late summer, early autumn. He won't be back for Wimbledon by the looks of it. I mean, that's what we can surmise from his comments, but he's healing well, he's rehabbing well, and he seems keen on coming back. I mean, a few pundits and experts discussed whether this was actually the retirement, but it would be a very sad retirement with he's not playing for such a long time. And so let's hope he can come back and play actively for a while more before he calls curtains on his illustrious career. Some of you think I'm obsessed with Andy Murray because I talk about his racket changes all the time. I'm not obsessed. Don't worry, Andy. I'm not going to stalk you. I'm just curious about him trying to kind of turn every stone to come back to the level he thinks he should play at. So that's a very fascinating journey. I also like when someone has played a racket for a long time, like Fed did in 2014, and then suddenly switches to something else. It's not a sudden switch, but there's something going on in the mind there that I might need to tinker maybe with my racket setup. So he obviously tried, which I talked about before, the Prestige MP Light mold from 2021 in his PT57A layup, but for some reason he's not super happy with how that's working for him. So on the training courts at Indian Wells, he's been seen hitting with his old PT57A and in the older Radical paint job. So he's just bringing his old sticks. He hasn't received a new batch from Head by the looks of it, but he's back to his old ways. It is so tough to change. I mean, very few players change from the PT57A. We've seen that. That's such a beloved frame on the tour. Same as the 6195, but there we've seen younger guys like Rublev, Shapovalov, and Medvedev actually made a switch to move to another brand, all three of them. If you played your entire career with a certain frame, I think it's going to be a tough change. And they're both younger guys like Poprin and Ivashka playing with the PT57A. And then we have Murray and Robin Haase and a few older guys like Gilles Simon as well using this frame. And they're not letting go, as it seems. So Murray back in Indian Wells with the PT57A. We will see how it goes for him. Not sure if you're reading tennisnerd.net, but a guy called Evan Gaudreau has actually written some really interesting articles where he analyzes matches. He talks about patterns and stuff. I thought that would be an interesting take. I'm trying to bring, a slightly different point of view to tennis overall with Tennis Nerd. Mainly gear is where I come from, but I also like other aspects of trying to dive deeper into tennis as a sport. So I thought Evan's pieces are very interesting to read. He writes in a funny kind of creative style, which is a little bit more light and easy to read than most of the match analysis that's pretty dry. So I think it's fun to read. I've gotten some good feedback on Instagram, so kudos to Evan for keeping up the writing, and I hope to bring him on my podcast, the Tennis Nerd Podcast, to talk about patterns of play, mixed combos, and that stuff that he writes about in his posts. And he has quite strong opinions, obviously tongue-in-cheek. I'm curious to hear what you think about some of his thoughts that he puts forward in his pieces there on tennisnerd.net. You just check the category analysis and you'll find his stuff. That's where I put all his posts. If you want to support the work I do, check out Patreon, patreon.com/tennisnerd. It's a platform where you can, upload content, and you can then become a member to access this content, chat with me and so on. And I've published a video yesterday actually where I was hitting with a ball machine and testing a few different rackets, Boom, Radicals, and Technofiber, and all kinds of rackets. That's all for this one, the mixed bag. Thanks to all of you who send me stuff via Instagram. That always helps. I get some ideas on interesting stories that I might have missed. So big thanks to all of you. That's all. Have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.